All right, I'm gonna tell you a story. I'm gonna tell you a story about when I was about 7 or 8 years old, and I lived in a little community in Missouri called Cedar City, Missouri. And Cedar City is right across the river, Missouri River, from Jefferson City, Missouri, where I live, where I was born. My grandfather lived in Cedar City, and we lived there, I think, my first and part of my second grade, somewhere around in there. I can't remember exactly, but anyway, I was about 7 to 8 years old. And anyway, Cedar City got wiped out in 1993 because of a flood. The river flooded, and it just completely wiped out the city. There was always floods there. But the historic 100-year flood of 1993 wiped out the city. But before that happened in the 70s, when I lived there, and my older brother, we used to ride around in this little river city all the time on our bikes. And so did all the other kids. And it was kind of our pastime. You know, we'd ride around and we would run over snakes and explore the levees and do whatever, do kid stuff. And the cool thing about Cedar City is that, there was no traffic there. There was probably 400 plus people that lived in the whole community. So everybody knew everybody. Like I said, no traffic. The little grid of the city was, little small, short roads. And one of the roads that we would travel or want to travel, we couldn't go down because there was this little raggedy white dog that would bite you. And so we all hated this little dog. Everybody hated this little dog because, even if you were just walking down the street, the little dog would chase you and he'd actually bite you. And, the old lady that owned the dog, you would think, oh, well, she would do something about it, but she didn't care about it. She didn't care about you. She didn't care about the dog. So it was just known that you don't go down that street at all. But we hated that dog. We knew we hated that dog. Everybody hated that dog. So anyway, fast forward, one of the things that was really cool about living in that little community was every single year, I think it was summer to fall, they would have a carnival or they would have some sort of a circus or something that would come to town. And when it would come to town, they would do like little parades and do little, promotional things so that people would know that the carnival or the circus was there, and then, go to the circus. All right. Well, this year it was a circus, and my brother and I, we're riding around town, and we see there's a little bit of commotion going on at Louise's grocery store. And Louise's grocery store was kind of one of those hubs, it was kind of like everybody would hang out there and talk about, I guess local politics. As a kid, I didn't know. But anyway, people tend to gather there. And so on this particular day, there was a little crowd that was gathering in front of Louise's grocery store, which was right across the street from the post office, right? And so my brother and I, we thought, we'd stop and see what's going on. Well, there was a guy that had like a Ford F-150 sized truck. And in the back of his truck, he has a full-grown African lion. Now I'm talking about a African lion like you would think, like, Marlon Perkins, kind of a big mane, don't mess with him, he eats antelopes kind of a lion, right? So anyway, he's got this in the back of his truck, and it's a promotion for the circus, all right? So now I know this started to sound like one of those stories, but this is absolutely true, and it's one of those things that happens in your life. Okay, here, listen to me. So this lion is on a chain in an a Ford F-150 truck, and the guy's gonna pull the lion out of the back of the truck so people can pet this thing. So he's got the lion by the chains, open the tailgate, pulls him out of the truck. People are kind of gathering around. He says, okay, what you can do is you can pat the lion. So, but this is what you're going to have to do before you pat the lion. So this is what you need to know before you pat the lion. So he says, don't just walk up to it and pat it because it'll get agitated. What you need to do is that you need to just kind of slowly move and just kind of put your hand out like this and just kind of pat him like that, Don't look at him, just like this, all right? All right, so a line forms. My brother and I are in that line. We take our turn, we go up, we go to the lion. We pat the lion, right? Woo, it's pretty cool. So we're done with ours, and a few minutes later, here comes a little bit of commotion, all right? Stuff's going on. The lion's getting a little agitated. What's going on? So we look over by the post office, and we can see that little white dog. He's rolling over to Louisa's store, barking at this lion that's now on the ground. People are patting him, right? So the guy sees the dog, and he's trying to get the lion back into the back of the truck because the little dog's coming. So the little dog is doing that thing, all right? He's darting in, darting out, darting in, darting out, trying to get this little, trying to get the lion. And the lion's, like I said, plenty agitated. He's, the guy's struggling, trying to get him into the truck. I mean, split second, all at once. That lion grabs the dog by his back, shakes him a few times, and throws him out in the street, out by the post office. And everybody's like, what's going on, So, what's happened? Is this tragedy? I mean, what's going on? So we're all sitting there, the whole crowd's like looking at this dog who, as soon as he hit the pavement, I mean, he just, and then he was dead, right? So we sat there for a second and everybody just, yay! We thought it was part of the show. I'm 7 years old. I just witnessed a dog get slaughtered by a full-grown African lion, and we thought it was great. All right, so now, again, people think that story is not true, but if you know somebody from Cedar City, Missouri in the 70s, ask them about the lion. They'll tell you about the lion. All right. My brother saw it, I saw it. I own a little business, and people come in my store, and a lady said she saw it too. So, believe it or not, I gotta go. I think a train is coming. See ya.